Hi, Shannon here again from houseimprovements.com. Today I'm going to show you some simple maintenance you can do on your own water heater, and this will help extend its life. We're going to change the anode rod. So this is the anode rod, and we purchased this one to replace the existing one in this water heater. The next thing you're going to need for tools is you're going to need a 1/2 inch breaker bar with an 1 1/16 socket. As far as I've ever seen, they're always that size for the socket. We're also going to need some white Teflon tape. This goes on the threads of the new anode rod before you put it in. So we need that. And you're going to probably need a small flat screwdriver or anything like that. Those are the things we're going to need. You're also going to need a hose for draining, possibly a bucket to put the water into when we drain the water off to release the pressure. One of the first things we need to do to start this project is you'll find your gas control valve on the front of the water heater if you have a gas heater. If you have electric, just hit the breaker or turn the switch off to disconnect the power. In this case we have a gas heater. We're going to turn the gas valve down to pilot just to prevent the heater from starting up while we're doing this repair. We're also next going to turn off the water supply. You should find that on the cold side, the cold supply to your water heater. There should be a valve there. If that isn't there, because sometimes it isn't, just turn your main water off to the house, and this will just stop there being pressure in the heater. Then we can take our short piece of garden hose. You should find a valve near the bottom of the water heater that you can attach this hose to, or it may be tall enough you can stick a bucket underneath it, whichever. Regardless, you've got to drain 5 gallons of water or so out of your heater. So in this case we put a hose on there, we're going to drain it out, close the valve back up. That'll just take some of the water level out of the heater to decrease the pressure so that we don't have it shooting out of the top of the heater when we're starting to take the old rod out. Next we just have to locate the anode rod location, which will be in the top of your heater. In this case this one was actually covered by a black small plastic cap. We popped that out with a screwdriver. Peeled out a little bit of styrofoam. There was some sprayed in styrofoam around it, and cleaned it out enough that we can get our socket in there. For this, loosening this off, you may need a second person just to hold the heater. Sometimes these are in pretty tight. We've already gone ahead and loosened this off, so it's basically ready to go, except I can't turn it. It's still pretty tight. I'm actually going to switch to a socket from this point. We've got it loosened up enough that this socket ratchet will do it. Now because we've drained some water, there should be no water pressure behind this. So we can loosen that off a little bit more. This one's really stubborn. So once you have it loosened off, just carefully try to pull it out without banging it around too much. I'll show you here in a second how crusty this looks. So you can see here, this rod is doing its job. It's supposed to attract the minerals and corrosive material in your drinking water. It's supposed to eat the rod instead of your water heater. So you can see how crusty this one's getting as compared to the new one. Okay? Now the other thing you want to check for now that we've got it out, I'm not sure that you can see this, you can see the difference in length here. We're going to cut the new one off just with a hacksaw. We're going to cut it off before we put it in. We've now cut the anode rod off at the right length that we needed. We're going to apply some Teflon tape around the top half of the threads. So I'm going to put about 8 or 10 wraps around the thread, and just on the upper half. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Some people will say, oh, that's way too much. I'd rather have more on there to make sure there's a seal than not enough. You can see I've left a few threads exposed here. This will help ground your rod to the tank. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to reinsert this down through the hole. You shouldn't feel it bump anything or bang on the bottom or anything. If you do, you've got it too long, and you'll have to pull it out and just shorten it up again a little bit. But as long as you've cut it to the same length as what you had there on the old one. So I've got it started in there. Tighten it back up. Now you don't have to put it so tight that it'll never come out again, but definitely snug it up. You don't want it to leak. And you're good to go. So now just go back. Don't forget to turn your gas valve, in this case, back to the on position so that your heater will light. Turn the water supply valve back on, and everything should be good to go. Good as normal. Do that, change this rod every couple of years. So now that we've finished installing the anode rod, you know, that's one simple piece of maintenance you can do on your water heater. We're done that part. Another thing you can do is change the dip tube, which is a tube inside of your the hot water line on the side of your tank. One way to know if that's going is if you don't have a lot of time in between, you know, if you're having a shower and you run out of hot water really quickly, chances are your dip tube needs to be changed. That's something else you can get at your local supply shop. Another maintenance tip, just to drain some of your water every now and again out of the water heater. It does a couple things. It keeps your valve functional, the drain valve. It also gets rid of any little bit of sediment that may be in the bottom of your tank over time. And also, now that we've changed the rod, you may notice a little discoloration in your water because we've kind of stirred things up in the tank. Don't be alarmed at that. You can run a bit of hot water if you want through your lines, and that'll get rid of that fairly quickly. So yeah, no, thanks for watching our video, and if you like, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also check out other ideas and tips on our website of houseimprovements.com.